Whoa! I'm like all up in the camera. Good morning, y'all.
What's up,
Good
gang?
morning.
What's up? What's up?
How's everybody doing?
We are great. Happy Friday. It is already Friday, January 14th. We are halfway through the month.
Oh my gosh, time is flying.
It
Time,
It
is
is.
flying. It
time
is
flying.
flying. Where
Hey,
are we? Who are we?
hey, we are in Talent Talk. If you're tuning in right now, you are watching the Talent Talk presented to you by John L. Scott. And if you're familiar and you've watched the show before, you know myself, your boy Steve. We've got Davina with us. And today we have got a special guest, Victor Mitchell. Yeah.
Woo.
Victor, tell us who you are and where you're from and what you're doing.
So my name is Victor. I live in Tacoma. I'm a new broker with John L. Scott. I just joined on last June. I've had such an amazing time with such amazing people. They've helped me along. I went through the mentorship program and just graduated recently and looking to just crush 22.
Yes, and that is perfect. Victor, we love you. And you know what? Victor actually was our talent group. So our John Scott Talent Group Rookie of the Year for 2021.
Woo!
So yes, he had a great year, a great start into real estate in just his first 6 months into real estate. Um, and yeah, we are just excited about 2022. And the title of this broadcast is Crushing It, in 2022. 5 tips to crushing 2022. So we are going to talk about um, no matter what you're doing and what industry you're in, whether you're an at-home mom, if you're in real estate, if you are, no matter what walk of life or stage of life you're in, we are going to talk about crushing goals in 2022. So, um, we'd love to hear from you guys out there as well. So if you have any tips, I'm not, or I'll say any tips. Yeah, if you have any tips, great, share them. But what are your goals?
Right.
What are your goals for 2022? We'd like to hear from you as well.
Yeah, drop them in the comments because we'd love to hear. I know we've all set goals, and that was one of the reasons we brought Victor in because Victor's our rookie of the year. And in getting to know Victor, he's got some great goals and actually more so some tips on what you can do to be able to crush it in 2022. So,
Yeah. And you know what, Victor, we all come into real estate. Most of us don't grow up wanting to be a real estate agent, right?
Yeah.
So, good morning. So, we basically, fall or kind of transition into our real estate career. So, the person you were, Victor, before real estate, what did you do before you got into real estate?
I was a chef. I helped open a few restaurants. I managed a few restaurants. Yeah, I just loved cooking and I loved working with people. And the pandemic hit and that turned a lot harder. So I changed up the gears and switched over to real estate.
Yep. And here you are and crushing it already. So, I can see in the back. I think Pat just said good morning. I don't see it on the banner here, but there we are. Good morning.
Good morning.
good morning, Pat. So, hey, moving in, talking about like crushing goals and things that have helped you out, Victor. What's one of the tips that you would be able to give someone who is looking at maybe taking their business to the next, whether it's the business or stepping up or doing something better, or being better? What's one of the pieces of advice that you'd be able to give?
I think something really important is staying consistent with your systems, creating those systems that you can follow along through every day to maximize your efficiency, to maximize your productivity, and to just generally not have to reinvent the wheel every single day. Like, what am I going to do today? You should have a plan set out, and you just follow the plan and make it happen.
I love that. Systems are like the the base of being able to stay productive and get things done. I always go back to thinking about like McDonald's and how you could get, they have like a system of making French fries, and those French fries are famous and they make it the same way every McDonald's you go to. It's like it's just A, B, C, D, E, F, G. It's there, and you can teach anyone to do it, but it's staying consistent and making it the same way that everyone just knows and loves.
Good example of French fries. We're trying to
That's the
stay
way
away
it
from
is.
French fries now. Now I'm just like, oh, French fries.
My
Right.
bad.
And of course, McDonald's French fries stay the same shape and everything for years. Like you can go back and the French fry is still the same.
I don't know how. I just
Just
always
don't eat it after you've had a French fry for a year, but I
all
found
these
a couple under my
food
car seat
analogies.
before.
And they're still the same shape.
They're still the same shape. Don't eat it. Oh gosh. I think Donna just now I want some fries too, Donna. So
You're welcome.
her comment up here,
You are welcome.
thank you, Steve. No, but that is really true about systems and being consistent. And I think that is the huge word is consistency, because consistency creates like new habits, right? So whatever you're practicing and being consistent in is what is going to actually, just your focus. That's good. That's a good one.
Yeah,
I
one
like
of the
it.
things when you're talking about consistency, I always look back and even today, it's just having a daily routine, and every day it's the same thing, and just it keeps that consistency. Talking about consistency, and creating that daily routine that helps you stay consistent is a big thing with being successful.
Yeah.
For
And
sure.
it's just the little things. You don't have to. So there's consistency over a long period of time, and with small things. There's some great books out there. There is, um, oh gosh, and now my brain is one that we talk about all the time, where it talks about small little steps through longer periods of time, like learning how to run a marathon, right? You don't just go out and run 20 some odd miles, right? You basically start very small and you build yourself up, but being consistent over time, you can actually achieve any goal that you put your mind to. So
Yeah, I
I
think
love it. I love it, Victor. That was a great
yeah,
one.
it was
Woo.
Victor. You were talking about that book, and we
Oh, Atomic
recommended
Habits.
Atomic Habits.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. I've been listening to it every night.
I love that book.
Such a good
Making
read. Yeah,
small changes consistently, the small changes that make a big difference.
for sure.
The compound, yes, Atomic Habits and the Compound Effect
Compound
by
effect.
Karen Hardy is a good one too. So if you want to read a book, those are two really good ones if you want to be consistent.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, hey, if you're just tuning in right now to our Talent Talk podcast, today we're talking about 5 tips on crushing your goals for 2022. Drop your comments in the section. Drop your comments in the comment section. Let us know what your goals are and maybe tips that you have that you'd like to share. We'd love to know. You know. And Davina, what tip did you have for us?
Well, I don't know if this exists. I created an acronym, and so this is my acronym. I'm just going to own it because someone else probably had it, but I'm just going to own it today. So the acronym is called ACE, and it's acing your relationships, your behaviors, and your habits. Okay, and so the A and A stands for assess or acknowledge. The C stands for correct or change, and the E stands for engage. And we all have people in our lives. We all have behaviors and things the way that we think, the things that we do, and we also have the habits that we've created over life. Some of them are good, and some of them are not so good. And so, first of all, we have to assess our relationships, our behaviors, and our habits, and how they align with our goals. And if your relationships and your habits and your behaviors don't align with your goals, or they do, maybe you acknowledge what that they do align with your goals, or maybe you're acknowledging that they don't, then you move over to correcting them. or changing them. And maybe you just need to do a little quick tweak. Maybe it's okay, these are great relationships that I have and they're feeding me into my goals. The others are maybe bringing me down. So maybe you need to change or adjust or correct those relationships or those behaviors that you have. Those could be your thoughts. Are my thoughts aligning up with what I thrive to do in life? And if not, then you need to correct those thoughts, maybe change those thoughts, or maybe those thoughts are already good. And then engage. So if you have any goals that you want to achieve, then you need to engage, and not just engage your goal setting process, which is another one that we'll talk about later, but also your relationships. Engage in relationships. So if you have a goal to be a chef, what do? You read books, you watch. What do you do? What you like? You're around people that are doing the business, right? You're engaging. You are really engrossing yourself in those relationships. And the same thing, with your habits. You start changing those habits. So ACE is the acronym for acing your relationships, behaviors, and your habits when it comes to goal setting.
I love that. Always analyzing where you're at.
Mhm.
Like where you're at, where you want to be is what you're doing getting you there. If not, what do we need to make adjustments, tweak it? Um, awesome. Great advice,
Yeah.
Davina.
Yeah, starting those small habits make everything better for yourself.
Yeah.
And over time, those small habits turn into larger habits and larger changes and, engaging in better quality of life.
Yeah.
Yeah, going back to consistency and staying consistent and always analyzing over time, you sometimes you look back and it's like, whoa, you take a look back in the past, it's like here's where you were and here's where you're at now. And it just happens. I mean, you just sometimes just don't even realize it.
Yeah, and it's, we need people. We need accountability in our lives too. And I think when we're talking about, engaging, that's like telling someone what your goals are and helping them maybe with their goals and them helping bring you along on your goals as well. So
Mhm.
just, you know, the engaged part of it is the one that I think is, all of them are important, but really speaking to other people and having other people help you along is really a good one.
Absolutely. Good morning, Marlene. Marlene says, amazing leadership. I have to dash to another Zoom. Well, thank you for tuning in,
Good
Marlene.
morning.
Yes. Bye
We
bye.
appreciate you. Okay. All right. So we're talking today about crushing 2022 and tips to help you reach those goals. So one of the things that I wrote down, and it always comes back to me, is mindset. Having the right mindset, you're in the right frame of mind, having that winning mindset, manifesting the outcome and seeing that outcome. See yourself doing it, visualization, visualizing like you winning whatever it is that you're doing. Whether if you're lifting weights, you see yourself actually pushing up that heavy weight that you've been that working on trying to hit. Whether it's you're going into an appointment and you're trying to close a sale, going into that appointment and being successful and being able to close that sale, and that the outcome, that it's coming already. So manifesting it, having that mindset that I got this, I'm winning it, I'm doing it. I think that's where everything starts off, with just being in the right mindset to do stuff.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like mindset is the beginning to, anything positive that can happen to yourself. If you think you can do it, you can, you know.
Yeah. Except jump off a building. Don't do
I mean, unless you have a
You're
parachute,
not Superman unless you got a
you can.
parachute. No, just Just kidding. So like, that's really good though, because I think that leads right into another part of that mindset is affirmations and what you see, like and faith, right? Like we can talk about, even if like just having faith alone. And so we talk about affirmations even, within our group. And one of the things that you can do that I think is getting those things that you want to focus on in mindset in front of you. So like putting them on your mirror, or putting them in places like on your computer where you'll see them. Like if you want to lose weight, I know some people on the refrigerator will put a picture of what they want to look like or what they don't, or like those goals on the fridge. So it's like, yeah, don't open that fridge up because, like just like putting things in front of you, and so that it's a visual and it's constantly playing, right? So
Yeah.
Visuals, put the goals up in front of you.
yeah, I think Pat had a comment as well in there.
Pat,
Where is it?
yearly. Pat says yearly planning broken down to weekly, then daily to dos. I love that.
Yeah. And Christina says, I put a mirror on the fridge. It keeps me away. A mirror on
A mirror.
Wow. Nice. That's a pretty good one. Yeah. So so funny.
So another tip that I kind of had to share with you guys was something that's really tough for a lot of real estate agents, even myself included. Following up with your database and being consistent about that. It's not easy to make those calls all the time. It's not easy to go back and retouch people that you've worked with in the past that you've already closed on, or even connect with newer people that you haven't really built that relationship with yet. So it's really important to constantly follow up and create those relationships to help you along in your business.
That's a good one. And it's like, here's the thing: is follow up with your database. Where is your database? Right? It's like a lot of the data that's right here, right? But that is key. Is your database is like literally your Bible when it comes to business, right? So those are all your peeps. So that's a good one. Your relationships, number one. And we talk about real estate. What is real estate, you guys? Real estate
relationship
is
business.
Yeah. You know what, Victor, you said as a real estate agent, but I mean, even myself, just being able to follow up and making sure that I make that time to be intentional to make those calls.
Yeah.
Because I know for myself, I could get it's really easy for me to say, I got something else I need to do over here, which I do, and not make those calls. So I think part of one of the things that I work on right now is making sure that I make that time specifically to make those calls and to reach out. When we talk about databases and making connections and building those relationships, it's being intentional about making sure that I set that time aside. And when I set that time aside and it's planned, that I'm actually making those calls, because it's easy to get pulled away from and do something else. So I think that's a really important thing.
Yeah,
For sure.
It is. And, even just, when you talk about, following up with your database, and even if you're not in business, we all have a database of relationships, and those are our contacts, our friends, our family, our coworkers. And I know that these last couple of years, even with COVID, we had the shutdown. We felt like we were so separated, and, just checking on people. This last year, I had received a call from someone I hadn't talked to in a really long time. And they said, I lost some friends that I did not get to say goodbye to. And I am making a goal to reach out to everyone that means something to me. And I was so honored to be on that list of someone that meant something, right? But it really changed me. Like that call to me, because they felt that I mattered, was huge. And I was like, okay, I need to do better. I need to do better and start reaching out. So like literally it's, being better connected with, whether it's your friends or your family, and like literally following up with your database, just to say, how are you? I love you. I care about you. What's going on? Like those are that's that's a good thing, and it probably is going to mean even more to them than it does to you at the end of the day after you make that reach out. So,
Man, I love that, Davina. A lot of times my mind thinks about business and business relationships, but just you're right. Life's short, and we need to really be able to reach out to those people that we love, care for, that we maybe haven't spoken to in a while,
yeah.
and just reconnect. So I love that. That's I'm making that a goal.
Definitely. Me as well.
I guess that is me then now, on so for rolling back around, another tip is create, we're talking about goals, but like, how do you like create goals, right? How do you know where to start? And I believe it came from Tom Ferry. There's smart goal setting, and um, now I'm going to also talk about smarter goal setting. And smart is an acronym, and it stands for, the SMART is specific, specific. The M is measurable, they're achievable, relevant, time or time bound, and then the ER is evaluate, and then the and repeat. So, when you're looking at making goals, I mean, are you going to make a goal that you're going to climb Mount Everest next week? Well, if you've never been a mountain climber, no, it's not even achievable, right? So it needs to be specific, which you're saying, okay, I want a goal, and it needs to be nailed down very, very specifically on what that goal is, not just I want to do more business, right? Okay, that's a great goal to do more business, but what I want to do more business, but put a dollar amount to it. If it's transactions, put a transaction amount to it. If it's working with a specific sphere, or a specific um, area in your business, be specific about what it is in business or in life. If you want to lose weight, or if you want to get fit, make those specific goals, whether it's body percentage, or size, or how you're feeling, or if you're measuring your cholesterol levels, or whatever it is. Be specific on those, and then so that they are measurable, and then you can evaluate those, make sure that they're achievable, and that they're relevant to what your goals, what they are in life. And then, of course, time. Put a time on it, and then shorten the time. So if you say 6 months or 1 year, then just back it up. Because you know what, we are creatures of habit, and if we say we have 30 days to do it, when do we do it? Like day
30 days.
30, right? So put a time on it, and then back it up a little bit, back that thing up, and then evaluate, at the end, evaluate all of the things, the smart aspect of the goal setting, evaluate it. And if it's not working, then revise it, and if it is working, repeat it. So smarter goals.
Smart goals.
Mhm.
Yeah, going back to systems, smarter is a system of goal setting, is it not? And it's staying consistent with the system and doing that year end or monthly, even daily. You could use a smarter concept to be able to reevaluate how this week go. Just reevaluating and making adjustments and tweaks is great advice in putting together a system for setting goals. I love it.
We've got a bonus goal. So we went through 5, and I think, Steve, you have a bonus goal, don't you?
I do. I do. And if you're just tuning in, we're talking about crushing our goals and dropping tips and nuggets to be able to crush 2022. And the last tip, one of the last tips that we had, and this is mine, was being intentional, being proactive versus passive when we're thinking about actually doing stuff. And when my mind goes back to um, we're in sales, we're in sales right here, and we talk about all these things that we need to do in order to find business. And I see a lot of people, they invest a lot of time in maybe waiting, doing things to make the phone ring, and waiting for people to contact them and call them. And that's a bit of a passive way to be able to go out business. I always look at how can I be proactive and go out there and find the business myself. So rather than waiting for, I'm thinking about hunting and food, and I don't know why I'm going back to this, but like if you need to find food, you're not going to wait for food to come to you. And if you're a hunter, you need to go out and hunt and find
That's
that
why I
food.
know Hunter, because
So you need to take action and go out there and be able to find what you're looking for. Reaching out, making calls, making connections, being proactive, rather than waiting for the phone to ring and people call you up. I think I want to get out there and I want to make calls and I want to reach out and connect with people. And I want to be the one to initiate those calls, and those connections. And the only way to do that is just getting out there, putting yourself out there. One of the things I was when I got in this business, I was very uh, I was a bit of an introvert. And this business, you have to sometimes step out of your comfort zone and get out there and just do it and put yourself out there. And when you do that, you just become better at it. And making those introductions and connections and putting yourself out there. So my tip for you is be proactive, get out there, make things happen. Don't wait for it to come to you. Don't wait for your phone to ring. If you're waiting for your phone to ring, you may starve. You may be that starving hunter waiting for
yeah,
the
Hunter
waiting
out
for the
there with
deer to
your phone.
walk up to you and lay down and
Yeah.
Yeah, to kind of combine the last two, to be specifically proactive, so you know what you're looking for. I'm gonna, what you're hunting for, not just going out there and shooting at whatever. You have your process set up. You know exactly what you're doing. I'm gonna do this at 9 o'clock, 9 to 10. And that way, if you maybe don't do it, it's you missed out on something. It's not just, oh, I was planning on doing this and I didn't get to it. It's I missed
Yep.
on this specific date.
Yep. And you know what? I think the last tip is great too, because I think it encompasses everything. I know, Steve, you're talking about, just not waiting for your phone to ring, but being proactive means taking action, right? You're not just waiting for things to happen to you, but you're actually intentional about taking action. And all the tips are action oriented, right? So literally, that's awesome, because being proactive means do something with intention to further your goal. So Victor, where you go,
I'm
Victor?
all
You're
right,
very
everybody. Right. Bless you.
so I think that's great. That's great. Okay, Christy, you have a goal to make more marketing classes for our agents. Great things coming in 2022. Yes, I love it. Love it. We have an awesome marketing team and a great support, and that's what we love, that we get to still grow and learn. It's really, before we started, Victor, you have a goal, and you actually are putting something out about a class that you're going to be teaching
Yeah.
as well, aren't you? Yeah.
Yeah, my goal
So,
is to get a lead from an online source. So I've decided to teach kind of like this kind of setup, teach a class every week this year on either being a first time home buyer or VA buyer or maybe an investor in the future, or how to really achieve real estate and achieve your goals in real estate. I mean,
wow,
Damn.
that's
I love
awesome.
that.
That is awesome. Yep. So, wow, that wraps up our goal setting. Like, and anyone wants to chime in, we are almost out of time here. Actually, we are out of time here, aren't we?
We are, but you know what? I love, I just love this topic, and just when we talk about ways to crush it, you know, all of us here, we're doing Talent Talk. We're part of the John L. Scott family, and this is some of the stuff that we do and able to give back to everyone out there. Is having some of this conversation.
Mhm.
But if you're in the industry and you're a broker and you're looking at crushing your goals, and you want to dive deeper into maybe building your business, improving, leveling up, reach out to us. We'd love to talk to you and see what we can do to help contribute and help being part of you growing and being building your business. So
Yep.
Reach out to any one of our brokers, me, Davina, any one of the brokers in the John L. Scott Talent family. We'd
Yep.
love to hear from you.
Hit us up on Facebook, send us a message.
Yep.
Before we wrap up, there are some things that are going on within our group that are coming up. Steve, you have something that's coming up in just a few minutes.
Yes, actually we do. So at 9:00, we have Forms Friday where we take a deep dive into our real estate forms. It's a very interactive class where we're learning, basically how to say, what to say, get a better understanding for our clients within our forms class. That's at 9 a.m. You can go to our Facebook page and actually register for that class. It's open to everyone. So if you have the time, come check us out. Get some knowledge. We're talking about buyer brokers agreements today.
Yep. Awesome. And Dawn, actually, thanks for sharing your goal this year, Dawn, is to do video content marketing, first video set by the end of January. We are looking forward to seeing that video, Dawn. So we are. Thank you for sharing. See, so now we can hold you accountable. We'd love it. Love it. Love it. We have career night. So we talk about new brokers, or if you're interested in getting into real estate. Victor, I think I remember you. Didn't you? You came to a career night, didn't you?
I did.
Yes.
I did. I did bring somebody on.
Mm-hmm. You did. So talk about career night is coming up. Steve, you are the man. When is our next career night?
So our next career night is, looking on the calendar, it's the last Tuesday of the month, which is January 25th, 4:30. And you could go to our webpage, register for career night. And you'll find out everything it takes, to become a real estate broker, cost, time, everything. We'll answer all of your questions. But if you're thinking about getting a real estate license and getting into the real estate business, we can definitely walk you through the process and walk you through the steps from your thoughts of getting a real estate license all the way up and getting your real estate license, all the way into to work on getting you plugged in to starting your career in real estate. We're set up. We've got the systems in place, because we talked about systems. We've got all the systems in place to really help you thrive and grow as a broker from the very onset of just you thinking about getting into real estate all the way up to where you're running and being very productive. So if you have any questions, tune in Tuesday, January 25th. We just dropped the link in the chat section. Click on that, register for the class. We'd love to hear from you and answer any of the questions that you guys have.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we are out. Sorry.
Don't have a license yet either. It's for maybe if you're not happy where you are. We have a wonderful family here at John L. Scott.
Thank you. Yes, we do, Victor. Yes, we do.
And the class is free. It's absolutely free, and it's great. It's great. So, all right. I think we're out of time. Next week, we are going to be talking to our sellers. So if you own a home and you are curious about selling, we talk about the market is crazy, but there are obstacles that sellers face about selling their home. And if you aren't aware of what those obstacles are, we're going to talk about them, and we're going to talk about how to overcome them. Right. So, tune in next week, and we are going to dive into some good stuff and some more tips for you. So we're really excited. Anyone, I don't know what plans I have for this weekend, but I think we need to be bold, right? This weekend.
Right.
Always.
Yes. Go ahead.
Whatever it is, we're going to be bold about it. And we always leave and wrap up with that affirmation of being bold. And it's kind of that affirmation, that verbal affirmation of stepping outside of our comfort zone to be able to grow and always be better in what we're doing. So, Victor, I appreciate you coming on, being our guest as our John L. Scott Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
Yes. Woo! Got a producer on the
You
round.
got an audience back there.
We do.
All right.
But yeah, Victor, why don't you go ahead and take us out? Count us down.
Well, thanks for everyone for watching, and be bold.
Well, you got to count us down.
Oh, I got to count us down. All right. Ready. 3, 2, 1. Be bold.
Be bold. Woohoo.
Thanks, Heather.
Have a great weekend, you guys.
Thanks.